It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, toys in every store. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Now, for some of you, it's totally not the most wonderful time of the year. And for some of you, you totally agree with that. It's the most beautiful season, and you just can't wait. It's 19, 18, 17, 16 sleeps, and it's presents, and it's tinsel, and it's all the things that you love. And for others of you, it's just panic stations. You haven't, and you can't, and why do we make such a fuss? And we buy things we can't afford with money we don't have for people we don't like, and it's definitely not the most wonderful time of the year. Friends, welcome to the Arable Leader podcast. You weren't expecting us to start in that way, but I'm not going to pretend to fix all that for you. But I am super keen with this podcast today to contribute to this being a great Christmas season for you. So we're going to talk about the Christmas table. And it's kind of uppermost in my mind because this is the last year that we're going to have our picture postcard Scottish country home, and we've got everyone arriving. We've got all the girls coming and our son-in-law from the States, and we're going to have fires and hopefully some snow and some holly and ivy. And most of all, we're going to have the table. I guess that's the thing I'm hoping for most. A space, many moments, several encounters around the table. And that re-engagement with the concept and practice of the table could make this Christmas super special for you. Not only one for you to remember, but could start a number of family traditions, which might even change dynamics in your family and amongst your friendship group. So let's talk table. And today's episode is going to be very different because although some of the concepts are going to be familiar, what I want to do is begin to give some practical suggestions and some ideas and some encouragement for you to lay a table this Christmas that will make a difference. This is the Arable Leader podcast. I'm Karl Martin, and we're exploring true, brave, kind, curious leadership, leading from your soul. So the first thought is this: get intentional around your Christmas table. For those of you who are business types, here's a thought. Why not bring the boardroom table to the dining room table, by which I don't mean make it tense, super political, and crack out a mind-numbing PowerPoint. What I mean is plan it, storyboard it, war game it. Who's sitting where? What's the theme of the meal? What's the dress code? What am I trying to achieve? What would great look like for this moment and this event? Make it intentional, not accidental. It really matters who is invited and that everyone is given space. It matters who sits where. It matters how you start. It matters how you talk. It matters how you conclude. It matters whether it's comfortable or not. The Christmas story and the Christmas season is all about giving. So give of yourself. Give of your time. Give of your attention. Give of your planning to these staged moments that they might even become sacred moments for your family and for you. How about the first thing that you do when you get off this podcast is to start to storyboard a plan and get intentional for your table. So get intentional and get aesthetic. The medium is the message. Guys, if you want a superficial conversation with food as fuel this Christmas, watch the TV and face a screen. But if you want a beautiful moment, lay a beautiful table. If there was ever an opportunity for a dressed table, linen, if you have it, it's Christmas time. By the way, it doesn't have to cost you the earth. I went on eBay a couple of years ago and bought a job lot of white linen napkins. In the civilized world, we call them serviettes. And I also bought a mix and match of silver napkin rings. They cost me about £20 for 12 place settings, and they look awesome, and they make a difference. People feel special because this looks real. It looks like we've made an effort. Make your music mood music. Use proper plates. Friends, what is the fascination in America with paper plates? Come on, people, we are better than this. Use glasses, not red cups. It makes a difference to the quality of the conversation. And think about acoustics. I'm so tired of eating out at restaurants where I can't hear myself think, let alone hear someone else's mind or someone else's heart, and I'm trying to have an intimate conversation. So lay a table in a space where it makes it possible to hear and possible to listen and possible to engage and possible to include everybody, and think about your menu. Same old gets old, right? Spice it up. Mix it up. You want the staples because they're traditional, but adulterate the trimmings and think about your wine. I don't care what you choose, but choose something that you love. If it's turkey, a great Pinot, or an oaky Chardonnay, but you choose, do some research. And your water doesn't have to be boring either. It can be cucumbered and minted and rosemaried. And all I'm saying is get creative and get aesthetic. Get creative. You might not have a fancy table, but you can create an awesome atmosphere. Preparation is everything. It doesn't need to cost in cold hard cash, but there are holly branches outside that are free. And ivy, make sure you get permission before you steal from someone else's holly bush. But there are berries and pine cones and candles. Lay a moment because it makes a difference, and it doesn't even need to be a table. Just make it a moment. You can lay a fire and a charcuterie board. You can go to the beach and wrap up warm and eat fish and chips out of the paper piping hot with an intentional conversation. Get creative, make it beautiful, and get kind. Hospitality means being more thoughtful of who you include, thoughtful of how they show up, thoughtful of what they need, thoughtful of how they think and how they act. Open your tables. Don't just lay them for your usual suspects. Make a space for someone else, another. Some of our best tables have been when we made space for the other, the one who will be alone this Christmas, the one who is not part of your circle. Widen the gene pool. Invite people in with different concepts and different ideas and have a conversation. Employ empathy. Not everyone is an extrovert like me. So give people time and give people warning about the questions that you might ask. Not everyone is an introvert. So give people grace when they come up with an idea that they clearly don't believe in, but they're working it through as they extrovert their thinking. Not everyone will love these moments, but if done well, everyone can benefit from these moments if you pay attention to who is around the table and how they need you to show up. And share your table. What about you take the concept and philosophy of the table this Christmas, a shared moment to express ideas and thoughts and have a conversation, a safe place to have dangerous thoughts and dangerous conversations, and you serve someone else, a group who wouldn't have this kind of table. One of my colleagues has a non-profit called Soul Food. They serve thousands of meals every year to people who struggle with no shelter and struggle with homelessness. What would it look like, and could it make a difference, and could it be incredibly impactful, and maybe even create a tradition for you and your family if you volunteered at one of those kind of places with different people, not just food delivered, but conversation engaged with? Get interactive. Your table it's not a spectator sport. It's a participant's game. Even the preparation, it might feel good to you to be the one that's always serving, but have you ever thought that it might also be selfish? Selfish to sit by and watch and selfish to do it all. I'm thinking about possibly the best Thanksgiving meal we ever had as a family. And it wasn't because we went to the Macy's parade or the Nutcracker at the Lincoln. It was because we all took responsibility to prepare a dish. Everyone had their own thought, their own idea, and they came up with a dish and they made it from scratch. The table that day took 8 hours, and most of it was preparation done together. And that was probably not arguably, the best part of the day because we engaged, we talked as we worked together. So put someone in charge of the preparation, but everyone gets involved. Put someone in charge of the music, but people have ideas. Someone's laying the table, but people get involved in that too. Still another to ask the questions, but all play their part. Get intentional. Most of all, friends, get curious. The table in my book is the art of the kind. The science of the table, if there is one, is all about the conversations that are enabled in its flow. a safe place to have fascinating conversations. So this Christmas, allow me to suggest a number of different tables for you. Take them, run with them, dismiss them. I don't really care. I just care that you engage. The conversation table is the first table. Set a topic. I don't know, what's the greatest Christmas memory that you have? What's the best Christmas gift you ever received? What's the worst Christmas moment of your life? What Christmas character are you most like and why? Set a table question for everyone, or leave it to chance. Write a number of those kind of questions on pieces of paper and set a jar on the table and invite people to pick what's the best Christmas movie and why do you think so? What new tradition would you like to suggest for the holidays, and see where the conversation goes and where it runs. Let no one dominate, but let everyone participate. The second kind of table is a story table. Maybe this year it will be pertinent for you as a family to retell the Christmas story. Maybe even read it. Why do we celebrate this? What is this night all about? I love the tradition of the table at Shabbat or Passover, but why don't we create other traditions? Why do we remember this night? Do you believe it? Why do you think we have Santa Claus? Why is that important? Tell the story, perhaps light a candle, read a Christmas story that you love. Engage people around narrative and story. You never know where that's going to lead. The third table might be a memories table. This is more somber, but not less important. Who do we miss around this table this Christmas? What do we recall about them? How would we best celebrate their memory? We honor the space for them. We hold space for them. We walk in the light of them. Let's remember them and let's celebrate. And then the final table I want to encourage you to think about is a New Year's Eve table. Because to start well in 2025, you need to finish well in 2024. You need to feast before you fast, reflect before you resolve. What principle do you most passionately believe in but struggle to live out? What practice could make all the difference for you next year? What are you going to take with you from this year that was valuable and needs to be repeated? What are you going to leave behind that hurt you and limited you and upset you and you don't want to carry it with you into 2025? What do you need to get right in yourself or with others that would enable you to be free to become everything that you want to be in this next season? Final thought, friends. Less is more when it comes to practice. Don't attempt everything I've just said. Go after one or two things. Less is more when it comes to practice, but more is more when it comes to preparation. I hope you have amazing Christmas tables. Let me read a quote from a book that I wrote about the table, The Art of the Kind. It is impossible to overstate the importance of the opportunities made available by the right kind of tables. The table is a revolt against the dumbing down of our relational worlds, an overture of true connection in a culture desperately in need of it. It may well be the greatest medicine on offer for the current wisdom malaise we're experiencing, the greatest counter to loop thinking and isolation that is sabotaging the potential of soul leadership. So whether it's a boardroom or a dining table, a coffee or a glass of water, sushi or a sandwich, a buffet or a banquet, takeout on a fold-out, 5 courses or 1, or no food, just talk. Practice the table. The practice of the table is the art of the kind. Thank you for listening. Happy Christmas.
You've been listening to The Arable Leader with Karl Martin. Subscribe for more episodes with great leaders. And you can also watch The Arable Leader on YouTube. For more resources for leading in a healthy way, visit arableco.com and check out Karl's new book, The Cave, the Road, the Table, and the Fire, available on Amazon.